Live from WTOC, the Southeast News leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Well, we're following breaking news this afternoon here on WTOC Plus as Jefferson Street is currently shut down between 32nd and 34th Street, and the Savannah Police Department is asking residents to avoid that area if possible. Now, this news comes from a social media post after SPD said that there was a shooting on the 200 block of West 32nd Street that left one adult man with life-threatening injuries. Police are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020 or use the SPD mobile app to leave a tip. We do have a crew on scene right now. We'll continue to bring you more as we learn more. Well, we have new video into our newsroom of the chase involving federal immigration agents that led to a teacher being killed yesterday in Chatham County. Take a look at the top of your screen. You can see a red pickup truck that police say Oscar Vasquez Lopez was driving on Whitfield Avenue. Then you see vehicles driven by federal law enforcement pursuing him. WTOC obtained this video taken from a security camera at Hess K-8 school. Officials say after this, Vasquez made a U-turn, ran a red light, and caused a crash that killed Dr. Linda Davis, a teacher at Hess K-8. Now, we asked Savannah Mayor Van Johnson about this. He described the crash as extremely brutal and asked that first and foremost, people send love to Dr. Linda Davis's family. He says he nor anyone with the city knew of ICE's presence in the area, but because this occurred outside of city lines, he won't be asking them about this. He did, however, visit the family at Memorial Hospital after the crash.
Informed who it was and a family I'm familiar with and know. So I went to the hospital and spent time with the spouse and with the children and with the teachers of Hess Elementary School.
The mayor did raise questions about what led up to the chase, like why the individual was wanted by ICE, saying that his reaction would differ if this was just because of Lopez's legal status or if he was an active threat to the public. And Dr. Linda Davis was a beloved teacher at Hess K-8 school. She was a first-grade teacher at Brook Elementary before starting at Hess last year, where she touched the lives of countless students and coworkers. Now the community is remembering her legacy and the profound difference she's made. Former colleagues tell us that every single student of Dr. Davis's truly loved and respected her.
She always made you feel like you mattered. So making every individual at the school feel like they matter, whether they're a custodian or a teacher or principal or even a student, you always matter. And that was her message to everybody.
Now, WTOC spoke with Chairman Chester Ellis and Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley, who expressed disappointment in the way the operation was handled leading up to the death. They said the tragedy could have been prevented if federal agents communicated with local law enforcement beforehand to apprehend the individual in a manner that didn't jeopardize the safety of other people. Well, preliminary findings from the Georgia State Patrol state a Savannah police officer failed to use due regard at a red light, which led to a crash Monday night. The crash happened at the intersection of Abercorn and Largo Drive in Savannah. A GSP trooper was called to the scene at 11:14 p.m. to investigate the two-car crash. Their investigation found the SPD officer failed to use due regard at a red signal, causing the SPD car to hit another vehicle. The driver of that other vehicle was transported from the crash with injuries. Well, tributes are pouring in for the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. His family says he died peacefully this morning, surrounded by loved ones. He was 84. Natalie Brandt has a look at how the civil rights leader is being remembered.
Outside the Rainbow Push Coalition offices in Chicago, community members are honoring the life of the late Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.
We are here today because we truly believe in everything that Reverend Jesse Jackson stood for.
Jackson, a civil rights leader who marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., went on to found his own organizations committed to fighting for justice and equality for the underrepresented.
My constituency is the desperate, the damned, the disinherited.
Among those who knew Jackson personally, Brian Stevenson of the Equal Justice Initiative.
His voice has been so central to the movement toward justice, for this idea of creating an America that includes everyone, that lifts up the neediest, the poorest.
In the 80s, Reverend Jackson ran for president twice. While he faced criticism in his first campaign for anti-Jewish comments, he's also credited with laying the foundation for future candidates, such as former President Barack Obama, and expanding the Democratic coalition.
His presidential campaigns of 84 and 88 were influential in how he conducted a campaign to really bring people who were locked out and left out.
President Trump paid tribute to Jackson in a social media post, calling him a good man with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts.
The Reverend Al Sharpton called him his mentor.
He opened my eyes that we could make a difference. We could make change.
Despite declining health in recent years, Jackson continued to make public appearances, including at the 2024 Democratic National Convention, where he received a standing ovation. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, Savannah police found someone with a serious head injury near Shabazz Seafood on Victory Drive. According to SPD, they responded to reports of an injured person around 7:40 last night. Officers confirmed the individual was taken to a hospital. Our crew observed caution tape spanning multiple blocks from West 39th to West 44th, along with what appeared to be a trail of blood in that area. Investigators say Shabazz had just closed and employees were cleaning up when the incident occurred. A family in Beaufort is working to rebuild after losing their home less than 3 weeks ago. Daniel and Robin Dean, along with their granddaughter Emily, were having a belated Christmas celebration on January 31st when disaster struck. A fire erupted outside their home that officials believe was most likely caused by electrical issues involving a golf cart charger. The Dean's son, Eddie, saw the fire start, and in the process of trying to warn his family, he suffered burns from the flames. Fortunately, everyone made it outside, but the damage was already done. The family lost their home and all of their belongings in a matter of moments. They say their faith in God has kept them hopeful as they plan for what comes next.
We're blessed in a way that it wasn't worse, and we know that he's providing us right now with our basic needs, and that, you know, we're going to be led to the right path that's going to take us to our future from here on.
The Deans say the community jumped right in to help after the fire. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers have offered them things like clothes and places to stay while they try to land back on their feet. The family has set up a GoFundMe to raise money. Later, our Mackenzie Baker's following this story as well. You can also see that GoFundMe on our website right now. In state news, President Donald Trump is expected to make his first visit to Georgia this year, expected to be in Rome on Thursday. According to the White House, the president will talk about his economic agenda. Now, the visit comes during the first week of early voting in Congressional District 14. Former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene vacated her seat back in January. More than a dozen people are running to replace her. The president is endorsing Clay Fuller in the race. Our sister station in Atlanta spoke with Fuller about that endorsement.
And I came back in, and my wife and my two kids were sitting there, and my wife kind of looked at me like I'd seen a ghost, and she was like, "Who were you on the phone with?" I said, "The President of the United States," and she just burst into tears. And so it was just one of those moments that I was able to share with my family immediately, and it will be something that I'll never forget.
An original race of 22 qualified candidates is now down to 18. Because there are so many candidates, a runoff election is all but certain and has been set for April 7th. Whoever wins that runoff will officially fill out the remainder of Greene's congressional term through next January. We have a health alert for you here on WTOC Plus, as Georgia is one of 40 states being impacted by a peanut butter recall. The FDA said over 22,000 single-serve products, including peanut butter packets and peanut butter and jelly cups, are involved. These products are made by Ventura Foods in California and sold under various private labels. Here's the problem. They may contain pieces of blue plastic. The products could cause temporary illness, but are likely not life-threatening. Turning now to an investigation this afternoon. Popular hair straightening and smoothing products may contain chemicals known to cause cancer and other health issues. Our national investigative team found years of research and complaints showing potential issues with products marketed to people with curly and textured hair and products that are still on the market, an issue that disproportionately impacts African American women. National investigative reporter Carice Jackman breaks down the chemicals and the costs of beauty.
My mom did press and curls, so our house was always full of people. Going to the hair salon is great. You walk in, you got your beauty chairs, you got your hairstylist, you got your sitting areas. Each salon has their own atmosphere. It was a communal gathering, and you had to wait a long time. That part I hated. Okay, I didn't like that. But it's a cost for beauty. That's what they used to say. So you just waited.
Talk to me about your journey, your hair journey.
I started getting perms or relaxers when I was in the 6th grade. If you let me tell it, I would get a perm every week because it had to be smooth, and I don't have that kind of hair. So as soon as it started curling up, keep it something right here.
Old ads show for black women, straight hair was a social beauty standard.
Afro-sheen made for all the ways we style. My hair's so soft, silky, and free. I want something just for me.
Start with permanent cream relaxer,
which meant getting chemical treatments called relaxers, sometimes called perms in the black community.
I'm 68, so natural hair was considered to be naughty hair. It was a standard of beauty, imposed standard of beauty. Like your hair wasn't good enough.
What made you stop?
My hair started getting thin in the top. Medical issues too.
What was the experience like whenever you would get your perms?
Oh God, in the beginning it was awful. My scalp would burn and had little miniature sores. I thought that was just part of the process.
How long did it take before you started feeling that burn?
10 minutes. And she hadn't finished perming the whole head then. By the time she finished perming the whole head, my hair was aflame.
That burn is an experience many African American women feel. Our national investigative team requested and obtained Food and Drug Administration documents showing hundreds of complaints. Our findings from coast to coast in the last 2 decades. Hundreds of people have reported concerning and horrific outcomes they believe were tied to chemical hair straighteners. We saw complaints of bald spots, hair loss, blistering, scars, even hospitalizations after applying to the entire head, chemical burns, and cancer diagnosis. The main chemical in question in many of these products is formaldehyde, which the FDA reports has been linked to eye problems, respiratory issues, and even certain types of cancer, like ovarian.
When you hear that, what do you think?
I hear wild in my mind. Who knew? Then after you think about it, got a whole lot to do with cancer going in your system. It's in your head. So it made sense. It made sense.
Formaldehyde is one of the active ingredients that makes that product work and that makes your hair so shiny and slick and straight and stay that way for months at a time.
The FDA says formaldehyde and 2 related ingredients, formalin and methylene glycol, are some of the chemicals consumers should look for on labels.
When the liquid form of formaldehyde, sometimes marketed as methylene glycol, is in these products and gets heated up, it can release a significant amount of formaldehyde gas.
But there are other chemicals flagged by the government too. Our team analyzed around 100 products on popular online beauty supply websites and found more than a dozen listed products contain an ingredient identified by OSHA as one that can release formaldehyde when heated, like with flat ironing or blow drying.
So we have been working on this issue for over a decade.
For years, Melanie Benish with the Environmental Working Group, or EWG, has pushed the FDA to ban formaldehyde from being used by cosmetic companies.
We got those reports related to formaldehyde. There were a lot of them, a lot of women who experienced health issues after getting these treatments or giving these treatments.
Some women have gone to the courts to take action against companies who use formaldehyde in their chemical hair straightening products. Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump represented several in a class action lawsuit that's still pending.
These European standards of beauty that are injected on women of color, where they feel the need to try to get these hair relaxers to fit into corporate America, is detrimental to our health. They're so prevalent that they even sell them at gas stations. We want the FDA to act.
Our team found many of the products mentioned in the hundreds of complaints remain on the shelves. But despite a national concern, the FDA has not banned the ingredients and as of now has missed its 5th deadline to propose a ban on formaldehyde products. Since 2024, we've reached out to the FDA for comment. A spokesperson told us that the proposed rule continues to remain a priority for the agency and that the FDA may adjust the publication dates of this and other proposed rules when appropriate. It went on to say that several factors may impact their ability to finalize a rule, including administration priorities, emerging public health issues, or other circumstances.
We want these chemical hair relaxers to be taken off the shelves.
As women wait for a change in regulation, many are ditching the relaxers altogether.
But one thing I noticed, you're wearing your hair natural and you've got the continent on your shirt.
Yes.
So did that transition, did it help you get your sense of pride now?
Oh, definitely. Always had a sense of pride, a sense of me, who I am. My mom used to say, one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna get it. I know what you mean now.
According to the Environmental Working Group, around 80% of the more than 4,000 products marketed to Black women contain ingredients rated as moderate to high hazard.
And Carice, a lot of women with curly or coarse hair are impacted by this, but why does this impact Black women the most?
Well, Jude, it's like you said, many women should be paying attention to what products and whether are on labels when they buy hair products. But the reason why it impacts Black women disproportionately is because the frequency of how much Black women would straighten their hair historically, right? You'd go to the hair salon, you'd get these relaxers, chemical hair relaxers or perms to straighten your hair out. You have to put in the what's in it for 10 minutes to 15 minutes. It's sometimes very painful, and then straighten it out. And when you do that over a period of time, the frequency of that is what makes it potentially more dangerous and is why many studies are looking into if it potentially causes cancer. So everybody should be monitoring it, but particularly Black women who have used chemical hair relaxers should be paying extra attention to this issue.
And the FDA has had multiple deadlines to ban these chemicals. What's been happening with those plans?
Right now, they tell us, we reach out to the FDA several times about this story, they tell us it's still a main priority for them, and there are many factors that go into this. But for many consumer advocates who have been following this for years, and also lawmakers who we spoke with in part 2 of our story, many of them have been calling on a proposed ban for several years. So while they're saying that is a main priority, many advocates are saying, well, how long is that priority going to take until there's something that's actually done to either remove the ban, these potentially harmful chemicals, or at least address it going forward. So it remains to be seen, but it's something that we're definitely following.
I see. Well, Carice Jackman, thanks for joining us this afternoon with that investigation. Well, the City of Savannah's Municipal Archives has launched something called Story Routes. It's a community-driven project aimed at documenting places of historical significance throughout the city. It's all done through a website. Let me go ahead and pull that up right now. To contribute to Story Routes, you can visit the project website at savannah.gov/storyroutes and use an online form right here to share a location. In addition to sharing written details about that location, contributors can also upload their own pictures, as well as other documents related to the location and its place in local history. From the suggestions that they collect, the city will build the Story Routes interactive online map, which is a record of the sites, memories, and moments that have helped shape Savannah. Public's contributions will also help guide how the city preserves, honors, and shares the rich history that connects us all. Well, turning now to sports news, it's officially NASCAR race week in Georgia. NASCAR is headed to Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta this weekend for 3 races. The weekend will be capped off by Sunday's Auto Trader 400. This track has a pretty long history in racing. The Speedway first opened in 1960, giving it more than 6 decades of NASCAR history. Over the years, it's remembered as a regular stop on the Cup Series schedule, evolving with the sport while still maintaining its classic Southern racing roots. And finally, a Georgia native has won gold at the Winter Olympics in Italy at 41 years old. Elena Myers-Taylor finished first in the women's monobob. She grew up in Douglasville, but now lives in Texas. Even before the win, she was the most decorated black athlete ever at the Winter Olympics. Taylor had medaled 3 silver and 2 bronze. She's now tied for the most medals by any U.S. woman Winter Olympic in the Olympics history. So really cool. Congrats to her. It's funny, we were having a conversation in the newsroom the other day about if you had 4 years to get ready for the next Winter Olympics, what sport do you think you could do? We had quite a few people in the newsroom bring up curling. Obviously, I feel like that's kind of the go-to answer. I think I'd be decent at ski mountaineering, especially if they ultimately increase the race distance for the next Winter Olympics. All right, with that, we're going to wrap things up this afternoon for the news on WTOC Plus. We'd like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We'll be back in just over 30 minutes for Welcome to Our Community with Dawn Baker. In the meantime, you can always check out our website for the latest updates at WTOC.com. I'd like to thank you all for watching this afternoon, and here's Local News Live.